Welcome inside the Meridian Center here in downtown St. Catharines on day 3 of the 2018 FIBA U18 Americas Championship. Second game of the day. Both teams sitting 0-2, looking for their first win.
And it's important that they get their first win now because this is going to be for third place.
I'm Reese Dumaney, this is Joe D'Agostino. It's the Dominican Republic against Panama. Dominican Republic fell to Puerto Rico yesterday, and it was Panama falling to the Americans last night.
And I think the most important thing from yesterday is both teams are now 0-2, but it doesn't really feel like they're on the even playing field. Panama, a really pitiful performance in that last game, but you know they're going to try to bounce back. You know that they're representing their country, and they're going to have a lot of pride. Hopefully today, against the Dominican, a team that they know really well, they both play in Central America, maybe they can bounce back.
Both teams saw each other in the U17 Central Basket Championships just a year ago. First, we'll start with the Dominican Republic. We talked about it all day yesterday, their size, starting with Frank and Soriano.
And I think the big deal about their size is when you're facing a team like Puerto Rico, you're almost trying to match up with them. Compared to Panama, you know that they don't have a lot of height. Now this can become an advantage for you. So for the Dominican Republic, that's a great opportunity for you to get your first win of this tournament.
Frank had 14 yesterday, 13 for Soriano. As I mentioned, they fell to Puerto Rico in an all-Caribbean matchup, but other guys stepped up, starting with David Jones.
And I think David Jones is one of their better players, and he's been playing like that in this game, in this tournament. He only had 14 minutes in game 1, and he had 14 points. They boosted him up with a little bit more minutes with 18 minutes in game 2, and he had 18. So clearly he's improving a little bit more. With them being 0-2, he might be a guy that they want to go at early and often in this game.
They got to go for Quinones as well. He had 26.
And Quinones didn't have a great game in the previous day, so for him to bounce back, one of your best players, he has 9 offers for next year. He played like one of the best players in the Dominican, and that's what he did yesterday.
Switching to the other side, it was Panama. As we mentioned, not the greatest performance that we've seen from them in the entire tournament, but Borbaua had 9.
And obviously that game, it's one that you really can't chalk up with stats because it was just such an anomaly. We never really seen a performance like that. So for Panama, it's going to be more about just bouncing back and playing better.
We'll break for the national anthems for each team, then tip-off is right around the corner.
Please remain standing for the anthem of the Dominican Republic.
4 minutes to go until we tip off Game 2 on Day 3 of the 2018 FIBA U18 Americas between Team Panama and Team Panama and Team Dominican Republic, excuse me. And a guy we were talking about just before the national anthems, Jonathan Andrade had a great first game of the tournament against Puerto Rico, but did not play yesterday against the Americans.
And he will be playing today, and the thing about Andrade is he is a short guy. He's 5'6". Obviously, when you're facing Team USA, so much height on that team, so much athleticism, so quick that maybe they figured that he was just going to be too much of a mismatch on the court. Also, Ricardo Lindo, their star player, he's still out. It doesn't look like he's going to be playing tonight. So, Panama, you get one of your better players back for this game. You're coming off one of the worst losses you can have. But you're still a young team. They haven't really been in these tournaments very often. So for them, just make this experience, have as good as a game as you can possibly have, and just be competitive. That's all you can really ask for your team.
And talking about the size, yesterday they only got to the line 10 times. So would you look for them to use their size, get into the paint, and draw a little bit more contact to get those free shots?
Well, I think for Panama, you need to get as much easy opportunities as you can. As you look at the starting five right now for them, Jonathan Andrade going to be leading the point, and he's going to be the primary ball handler for them. But we saw he can get in the paint, and he can be aggressive. He can use the rim to help him and help get out of defenders. But the Dominican, they have a ton of height, just like Puerto Rico, and we saw in that first game with Panama, once Puerto Rico finally started to get their groove, it became too much for them. So if the Dominican can play well and start strong, it might be too much for Panama even early.
For the Dominican Republic, you just saw their lineup. Here's their starting five. Alonzo Frank stands at 6'9". On the other side, Joel Soriano, he's 6'11". So the story continues, the height difference.
And I think it's one of the more important things in tournaments like this. When you know that there's not a lot of experience, those intangibles can be so much more important. Size is going to be a factor for the Dominican Republic. They faced two teams already with a lot of height, so they haven't really been able to use it. In a game like this against Panama, this is their opportunity to really kind of bounce back. We know 2 years ago in the 2016 Americas, the Dominican Republic didn't win a single game, and you know that's going to be in the back of their heads, and you know they're going to want to bounce back from that. They have high expectations. They have good basketball in their country, and today they're hoping that they can continue that.
Which is a little bit odd, talking about winning no games in that tournament. Last year, the U17 Central Basket Championships, they defeated Puerto Rico, the team that beat them yesterday in the championship game. And
that's all about expectations. The Dominican Republic, they want to win, and you know that they're going to want it. They were going to want to make the World Cup. They're going to want to place, maybe even get gold. Anything can happen, especially when it becomes elimination, but you have to win this game, at least to build some confidence.
And going back a little bit further, the Dominican Republic finished third in the 2014 U18 FIBA Championships, so we know they can medal, we know they can play. The size is huge, and in warm-ups, they looked ready to go.
And they should be ready to go. There should be a chip on their shoulder, because that game against Puerto Rico, it was a double-digit loss, but it was close. It was close for a lot of that game, and they were competitive because they know Puerto Rico. They beat in Puerto Rico. It was just, it wasn't their night. And today, it could be their day.
The first game of Group A here on day number 3. We just saw Group B get underway right before us. It was Argentina taking care of Ecuador 82-61. And a game that Ecuador led most of the game.
And one thing about that game is there's a lot of comparisons with Ecuador and Panama, the two unranked teams that are in this tournament. We saw Ecuador compete for most of that game, and sometimes the talent level is just too much. We saw that Ecuador just didn't have enough talent to really compete with Argentina. They had too much depth, but they were still competitive. And for Panama, they were competitive against Puerto Rico 2 days ago. Yesterday was just a completely different scenario. That doesn't mean they can't be competitive today. And you never know. If they start strong in the Dominican, they start slow and they start shaky. If you get a big enough lead, you could be competitive for that whole game. And then if you're heading into the final minutes of a game where it's close, anything can happen.
Panama led 36-34 in that game you mentioned against Puerto Rico, but again, the size taking over for the Puerto Ricans. 10-minute shows on the scoreboard over center court. We're ready to get things going. It's the Dominican Republic against Panama.
And one thing to mention before we tip off, I think a lot of people talk about the top 4 teams in this tournament being USA, Canada, Puerto Rico, and Argentina. You know the Dominican Republic, know that people are talking about that, and they have such high expectations that they want to go out and prove today that they are one of the better teams in this tournament.
Panama's in red, lined with white. The Dominican Republic in white, lined with blue. It's Soriano to take the tip for the Dominican Republic. Jesus Lombardo, big number 12 for Team Panama. We are set. Soriano gets his hand on it, but it's Lopez controlling it off the tip right away to Andrade. Lombardo, Soriano on him, and quick stop and play out of bounds. It's Dominican basketball. It's Rubel controlling things for the Dominican Republic. Erasme, Lopez is on him. There's Quinones, 31 points just a day ago against Puerto Rico. It's Frink putting it up and drawing contact. He'll head to the line early on.
And that's huge for the Dominican. They need to get going early, and they need to get as much easy opportunities as they can.
From the line yesterday, Frink was 3 for 5, good for 60%. You always know which guy he is, standing 6'9", with that funky hairdo.
And I think if you're Frink, he started slow in game 2 yesterday as he misses that free throw. Maybe get him going a little bit earlier. If he was playing a little bit better in that first half, maybe it would have been a different story against Puerto Rico.
And he makes the second one. First point of the game goes to the Dominican Republic. They lead at 1-0. Andrade, the corner. That's Gunn. He had a great game to open the tournament for the Dominican Republic. Andrade pulls up from 3, no good. Rebound by Borbua. Nothing doing on that one. It's Quinones back the other way, down to Frink. Rubel thought about the 3, now he'll take it. Air ball off the mark. Soriano going back up and one.
And that was an unnecessary foul on that play, so they have to watch out for situations like that. If you're Panama, you have to score quickly. We know it took them forever to get their first basket yesterday. If they can get things going just a little bit faster, maybe their confidence can boost up. So we take a look here. A nice look, it just didn't go, and then the height there by Soriano. An easy and one opportunity, and he makes the free throw.
4-0 run to get things started for Team Dominican Republic. We mentioned off the top, both teams looking for their first win of the tournament. More than likely will decide third place as Gunn's three-point attempt comes up a little bit short. It's Quinones back the other way. Frink. Soriano. Didn't see a lot from him in the fourth quarter against Puerto Rico, but he's off to a hot start here in this one.
And how many times did we see that post-up jump hook in that game yesterday when he was playing, and it worked almost every time. They should continue to go to him, especially with their height advantage.
Andrade. Quinones is on him, goes off the glass, can't get the layup to go. Good hustle there from Lopez, but he's unable to handle it. It'll go out of bounds, and the Dominican Republic will keep the ball.
And what's so important about him jumping for that ball, Lopez, is the fact that you know that they want this game. You're worried when you lose by so much, like the way they did against the USA, that maybe confidence is down, morale is down, but the fact that they come in and at least are fighting for loose balls is a good sign for Panama.
We did see them fighting for loose balls late in that game as well.
And I think it's important to show there is some pride on this team. They're not just gonna fold.
Quinones, as the shot clock expires, now it's Erasme putting it up. That's good for 2 points. And an early timeout by Team Panama.
This could not have started better for the Dominican Republic. 8 straight points, a nice 8-0 run to start this game. For Panama, it's a little bit more of the same from what we saw yesterday. So they need to play a little bit better. I know they're young, I know they don't have a lot of height, but there's still opportunities to score, and they need to be a little bit better.
Erasme was held off the score sheet in last night's game. He gets on the board early here in this one. Quick 8-0 advantage in favor of the Dominican Republic. They took a timeout, so we'll take a timeout and come back right after this.
I know they don't have a lot of height, but there's still opportunities to score, and they need to be a little bit better.
Harasme was held off the score sheet in last night's game. He gets... Welcome back inside the Meridian Center here in downtown St. Catharines. Exactly 7:41 left in this first quarter. 8-0 in favor of the Dominican Republic. They lead Team Panama.
And I think what's most important for Dominican Republic right now is they're taking good shots. They're not taking anything, they're not forcing anything up. I know that they have the advantage in this game in terms of talent and intangibles, but that doesn't mean it can give you the excuse to take unnecessary shots, and that's not what they've been doing. They've been taking smart shots. Andrade
couldn't drive as Big Frank was in his way. Stolen away by Rubel. Quinones puts it off the glass, and they're in double digits.
And now 4 of the 5 starters for the Dominican Republic have scored in this game.
Soriano leads the way with 5. Gunn. He'll shoot off the mark. Lombardo puts it up. No good. Ball up for grabs. Andrade up top being guarded by Rubel. Gunn. Good effort from Gunn, just can't get it to go, but he'll draw contact and head to the line.
And that's huge for Panama right now. They needed something to go in or go their way. Gunn was one of the better players in game 1. He was one of the reasons why they had the lead in the first half. If he can maybe get a couple shots here and get it going for Panama, they can start getting some baskets.
Only 5 points in just over 27 minutes played in the game against the Americans, and he gets Team Panama on the board. He's perfect at the line. Quinones looking for something to open up. Harasme, he drives underneath. Quinones, 5 on the shot clock. He'll dish it off. And he stepped out of bounds, Harasme, and it's a turnover.
And that was great defense by Panama, making sure they were staying in front of their man on every single spot on the court. And that's so important for them because we know that they've been struggling offensively, but if you play good on the defensive side, you can start getting some stuff on the other end.
Gunn in the corner. Comes up short, Soriano picks up the loose ball. Now it's Quinones back the other way. Frank for 3, can't hit it. Rebound picked up by Quinones. Zephyrin's on him. Soriano. Harasme driving off the glass. 12-2 in favor of Team Dominican Republic. Lopez. He lost the handle. Now it's Frank back the other way. Lead pass. It's off a gun, and the Dominican will keep the basketball.
It's good to see, though, that the Dominican Republic are starting to play better. They're starting to play a little bit more efficiently. Obviously, this is a different team, but as you can see, a great pass by Soriano, the big man. Push it in. Harasme, who was scoreless in yesterday's game, already 4 points. The Dominican Republic, they're starting the way they would have wanted to start this game.
That shot from Harasme from beyond the arc is no good. Gunn tried to find Andrade. He was unable to hand that pass. It'll go out of bounds, and the Dominican will once again regain possession.
And you can see the frustration in Panama right now. You know it's not going their way. They're making some mental errors, and it has to carry forward from yesterday. Like, how can it not?
Harasme, this time carrying the ball up the court, finds Quinones. He hits it from downtown.
Quinones, who had over 30 points yesterday, he's got 5 now. He could be a big reason why they're up big, especially later in this game.
Lopez, right back to Andrade, will pull up. Long 2, can't get it to go. Lead pass to Quinones, who couldn't handle it, as Lombardo picked up the loose ball. Andrade quickly back the other way. Lopez in the corner. can't hit the 3 ball. Follow-up opportunity by Zephyrin goes nowhere. And a stoppage in play underneath.
And you can see that Panama's getting good looks. They're getting some solid shots on that side of the court. It's just you can see that the confidence level for them isn't there right now. And that's just the only way you can get that confidence level up is just by making some shots.
Now 3 fouls for Team Panama here in the first quarter. Rubel for 3, off the mark. The ball fell right to Lopez, who carries it up the court. Far side, Zephyrin, off the mark. Rebound by Harasme, who lost the handle. Now Lopez fighting for it. Andrade helping him out. Ball up for grabs. You see Andrade full-on dive, couldn't come up with it, but Gunn back the other way. Turnover after turnover. Gunn driving and gets the floater to go.
And you can see the energy that they had on that play, diving for the loose ball multiple times, not giving up on the play. It can get your team going.
Rubel lost the handle, and it's Zephyrin. He'll just float it up and in. Team Dominican Republic will call a timeout.
And it's good to see that. You can see that certain plays can get you going, and it can almost have a domino effect in the game. They turn the ball over, they dive for it, they get another steal, they score a basket. On the flip side for the Dominican, they need to play a little bit smarter. They can't get careless. I know that this game looked like it was all Dominican Republic, but it's still only 9 points in the first quarter. Anything can change. We saw Puerto Rico when they started slow. Panama was able to get back in that game.
It's 15-6 in favor of the Dominican Republic as we take another look at this play. Andrade just full-on diving for that.
And you have to remember, that's a 5'6" player diving at a 6'9" player. That takes guts. And you can see Gunn smart, pushing the pace, being aggressive instead of kicking it out to Andrade, getting 2 easy points.
Panama looking to come off this timeout with the momentum. It sort of kind of looks like it's shifted a little, but 15-6, I don't know, we'll wait and see. They took a break. We'll take a quick break and be right back. Back at the Meridian Center here in St. Catharines, Ontario, 15-6, the Dominican Republic leads Team Panama here in Group A action with exactly 3.5 left to play here in this first quarter. It's going to be Team Dominican Republic ball off the inbound.
And I think the most important thing for Dominican right now is to just settle down. I know that it feels like Panama's made a couple nice shots. They've been playing good on defense. But you're still up 9. Just play the way you've been playing all this time in this quarter, and they should be fine.
Verplanken into the game for Team Dominican Republic. He's got it, decides to drive, can't get it over the rim. Lombardo able to pick up the loose ball, and it's Andrade. Zephyrin ran into Frank. Hard to move him. And they're gonna call a blocking foul on Zephyrin.
And you still have to respect the hustle by Zephyrin to get back, even though he caused a turnover. He still was able to push himself. He didn't hang his head knowing that he turned the ball over. You could see he kind of looked like he thought he was fouled on that play, but it didn't stop him from getting all the way down and stopping him from getting an easy basket.
That's his second foul of the game for number 15 in red. Soriano up top for Plankin. Frank off the mark. Lopez lost it for a second, able to regain possession. It's Gunn back the other way. Lost the handle, who's it off? It's off a Dominican, and Panama will keep the basketball.
Panama just needs to keep doing what they're doing right now, pushing the pace, being aggressive. I think that's how they're gonna keep themselves in this game.
Andrade in the corner. Lopez, a good look. Off the mark, and Frank with the rebound. For Plankin. Far side, Bonilla. Arasme. Soriano using his height over Lombardo for 2. Back to a double-digit lead for the Dominican Republic. Lopez, Andrade, Lombardo posting up. Puts one up, the floater good for number 12.
And Lombardo is really their only type of height on this team. So for him to post up, get something going inside the paint, that's really big for Panama.
Frank using that big body, they're gonna call a charge. Gunn a little bit shaken up on that play.
And how many times did we see Gunn hit the floor yesterday against USA? He has no issue putting himself in harm's way for the betterment of his team right there. As you can see, no fear against the biggest guy on the court. It seemed like he might have hit his head on that play, but it looks like he's staying in the game, so he should be okay.
Did you see the turnovers there? 5 aside. So far we have just under 2 minutes to play here in the first quarter. Lombardo down low, Soriano on him. Great play, Lombardo to get around the 6'11" defender and put it off the glass.
And if you're Soriano, you have to be a little bit more aggressive there in the paint. That was too easy for Lombardo.
3 in the corner, Bonilla makes no mistake.
That was a much needed three by the Dominican. It started to feel like Panama was starting to get things going, but as you can see there, a big three can just change the momentum of the game just like that.
Lopez. Now it's Gunn. Quinones is on him. Gunn decides to drive. He lost the handle, got it back, goes up. Soriano says no. Gunn, nice play to Zephyrin. That one off the mark, and it's Quinones back the other way. For Plankin, deep three, can't hit it. Quinones in the corner, Bonilla again.
Just when you thought that Panama was starting to gain some momentum, 2 threes by the Dominican pulls this lead up to 23 now, a timeout, and what an impressive performance by Dominican in this quarter.
Bonilla is a beast from beyond the arc at the moment as we take another look. Quinones, he was wide open in the corner, and you saw it, he hit it right on point.
And the thing what's so important about a play like that is that pass wasn't necessary. He had an open shot, but he wanted to dish it to his teammate, and they got 3 points for it.
Thank you. Quinones had 4 assists in yesterday's contest against Puerto Rico, and I'm looking at the stat sheets right now. They have a lot of assists. Frank had 3, 2 from Corella, 5 from David Jones, and then Rubel had 4, Quinones 4.
And David Jones, who we mentioned at the top that he's one of those players that plays really well for them off the bench. I expected him to get a little bit more minutes. He hasn't touched the court yet, but in a game like this where you're already up big, he might not need to play 14, 15, 16 minutes for them.
With 51.9 seconds on the clock here in the first quarter, the Dominican Republic continues to lead Team Panama 23-10 here in the first game of Group A action here on day 3 of the FIBA U18 Americas Championship from St. Catharines, Ontario. As it's Andrade off the inbound, full court press here by the Dominican Republic. Gunn gets open, got the feed from Andrade. 5 on the shot clock. Lombardo, using his size, puts it up, can't get it to go. And it's Quinones out the other side.
And that was much better defense by Soriano on that possession.
Verplanken sees a lane, decides to stop. It's Quinones pulling up from 3, can't hit it. Gunn with the rebound. Zephyrin tries to put it up, lost the handle. Looks like it's off his knee and it'll go back the other way.
And with 7.1 seconds left in this quarter, the Dominican one last opportunity to get some points before he hit the second.
Zephyrin will check out of the game. Coming in for him is Garibaldi. Quinones takes a look at the clock, pushing the pace. Handed it off, 3 attempts, no good as the buzzer sounds. We're at the end of the first quarter of play. It's 23-10 in favor of the Dominican Republic.
And if you're Panama, obviously disappointing, but a lot more competitive in this quarter than they were against the USA. So I think they should be not happy, but content with how they played the Dominican. They were great.
We'll take a quick break and come back with the stats from the first quarter.
Now that's how to mop the floor quickly.
Welcome back to the Meridian Center here in downtown St. Catharines. The first time the FIBA U18 Americas Championship has been held here in Canada, and what a beautiful facility for them to have it in.
And looking at this game so far for the Dominican Republic, I like how they're getting a lot of players involved right now. And I think what's most important for Panama is you need to just keep playing with a lot of energy because, as you know, Dominican, they have a ton of players that can score.
The Dominican, 5 guys are on the score sheet. Leading the way is Soriano with 7. And right behind him, Bonilla Jr. hit a couple of threes. He's at 6.
And he only played 3 minutes in that first quarter, so that's big for him. As you can see, the Dominican shooting extremely efficient from the field right now, getting a lot of players involved, 7 assists. And in terms of steals, relatively even, but I think those 3 steals really came when Panama started to get some energy in the game.
You see the turnovers are not in favor of Team Panama. They've got 7-4 on the other side for the Dominican Republic.
Also looking at Panama, one thing that we should take account for is 4 of the 5 starters played 10 minutes in the first quarter. We saw with Ecuador in the first game today that fatigue might have become an issue because the rotation just wasn't as deep. We'll see as this game progresses if Panama starts to get a little bit tired.
As you see the ball off the hands of Pascual and out of bounds. So Panama will have the first opportunity to score here in the second quarter. It's Rue dishing it out. Andrade, no good. Quinones. It's Verplanken. Rue is on him. Pascual in the corner. He hits it, and it's just a long 2 for Bonilla.
But another guy getting on the board for Dominican. Everyone's getting involved, and that's a good sign for them.
Gunn. Andrade. 15-point advantage for the Dominican. It's Garibaldi who checked in late in that first quarter. Rue can't hit the jumper. Quinones again with another rebound. 3 off the mark there from number 22, Verplanken. It's out of bounds. And the Dominican will keep the basketball.
And one thing I've noticed for Panama is they've gotten a lot of good looks, and it just seems like it's not going in. We saw Andrade have a couple nice threes, one in the first, now one in the second. He needs to hit those if they want to get back in this game.
It's Verplanken. Pull-up jumper off the mark there from Bonilla. Rebound picked up by Pascual. He can't hit it. Garibaldi able to pick up the loose change and get it up to Lopez. Garibaldi's now got it. Andrade with 10 on the shot clock. Lombardo comes up, sets a pick. It's Rue. Drives, puts the floater up, no good. Ball up for grabs and given away. We're gonna call a shot clock violation. Head coach upset with the call on the Panama side. That's David Rosario.
And the reason it was a shot clock violation is because the Dominican did not actually maintain possession of the ball, so the clock just kept going.
Bonilla lost the handle. Lopez will pick up the ball. Working one-on-one with Bonilla, back the other way. Makes a couple of moves. Coming back, Pascual says no. And it's Verplanken back the other way, putting it up and off the glass.
What a play by the Dominican to get back. A great play by Pascual to get the block. And then for Andrade, 3-on-1. What's he gonna do?
Looks like he was fouled on his way to the basket.
I think one thing to really just credit the Dominican for is the fact that we've seen them in these past couple of games start slow, and even though the competition isn't particularly great, they're still playing hard, and they know that they want to win this game. And as you can see here, a nice stuff, getting it back to for the easy basket. Well done by the Dominican.
The man that scored 18 points for the Dominican Republic yesterday, David Jones, seeing his first action of the game here. Also coming on with him as well is Carlos Corella. He's wearing number 4 in white. Andrade with the 3 off the mark. Lopez tried to put it up, but couldn't do it, and a substitution again for the Dominican Republic as Frank will check back in.
Some of those shots you need to start hitting for Panama because they're good looks. This isn't the USA where it seemed like nothing was even there for them. There's shots that Panama could be making.
It's Jones being guarded by Rue, who finds Corella. Frank pulls up from 3, can't hit it. In down low on the rebound is Torres. Corella to Jones, great ball movement from the Dominican. Jones drives, finds Torres who lost the handle, and it's Andrade back the other way. He drives, puts it off the side of the basket. Garibaldi goes back up and can't get it to go. Back and forth these two teams play. Jones to Frank, puts it up and off the glass. A little bit of a smart play there from Lopez not to foul. And now he decides to pull up, and he makes no mistake.
A much-needed 3 for Lopez. It felt like Panama hasn't scored in minutes, but now they got a 3 on the board. Maybe they can start getting a couple baskets in a row.
Those are his first 3 of the afternoon. It's Jones. Frank, he'll pull up from 3, comes up short again, and a foul in down underneath.
And you could just see the height issues that Panama's having right now. It feels like every time that they try to get the board, there's always someone on the Dominican that's combating against them, even for defensive rebounds. So they need to figure that out. But if they hit more of these 3s, maybe that'll be the way that they get themselves back into this game.
Lopez looked for options, decided, I'm pretty open, might as well shoot it, why not? As Quinones will check out of the game for the Dominican Republic, Rubel comes in for him. Now he's got it up top. Far side Corella. Rubel. Right back to Corella. That pass in down low. He tried to find Torres, couldn't get it to him. Panama takes over, they're back the other way. Putting it up. And just a little bit short, couldn't get the shooter's roll, and it's off the hands of Torres, and we'll go back the other way.
Possession, Team Panama.
29-13, the Dominican Republic leads Team Panama. It's Garibaldi, Andrade, Lopez. Rue's got it. Now Andrade, Garibaldi. Andrade puts the floater up, no good. A little bit of frustration from him after that. Out of bounds, they're gonna say it's off Garibaldi, and the Dominican will get the ball.
For Andrade, we mentioned that he's one of their better players. He's a great facilitator, he gets a lot of his players open, but right now his shot is just not going in for Panama. I think he should still be aggressive because he is one of their better players. Hopefully he can get it going.
Richard Nunez, number 20 in white, the 6'7" forward out of North Miami Beach High School. We'll check into the game for the Dominican Republic. It's Frank. Handed it off and put it up for Nunez, who hits it. Andrade. Now it's Rue. Gave it away to Jones. Corella, back to Jones, back to Corella. And he is fouled hard. His gun fell on him, and clearly shaken up is Corella.
Both guys took a hard hit there. Hopefully they're both okay.
It looks like Corella will get 2 shots out of this.
If he can take those 2 shots. He definitely took the worst of that play. He's still down.
Could feel that from over here. As you see, David Rosario, the head coach of Team Panama, getting an explanation from the official as Corella makes his way to his feet.
And you obviously don't want to see something like that, especially in a tournament like this. You're representing your country. It seems like you're starting to get some momentum going for your team, and then something like this could happen. Hopefully Corella's okay.
See Gunn go over just to check to make sure he is all right. And Harasme is going to come in for Corella. See the Dominican trainer helping him off. A little bit of a smile from number 4. Harasme misses the first free throw attempt. Hits the second one. It's Rubel. Down low to Jones. What a pass from Rubel to Jones. They connect.
David Jones getting on the board now. He's been playing for around 3 minutes. He's starting to get involved.
Andrade, Lopez. Said their names a lot so far here today. That 3 ball is good. Lopez hits another one.
And he's the guy with the hot hand for Panama. They need to start going to him a lot more, especially if he keeps making those threes.
He has the last 6 points for Team Panama. Harasme. Soriano had his pass deflected and it ricocheted out of play. Dominican will keep the basketball. Jones will pull up from beyond the arc and he hits it all the way from La Romana. Andrade. It's Aguilar. Stolen away. Jones has a lane and slams it home.
I can keep talking about David Jones all day because I think he has been their best player this entire tournament. He doesn't even get a ton of minutes, and you can see in only 5 minutes of action, he's already got 7 points, and he steals the ball again as he turns it over to Panama.
Andrade, Lopez. Big Frank was in his way. Now he's got it in the corner. He'll take a couple of seconds. He has hit 3 3-pointers in a row and the last 9 points for Team Panama.
And I know that Panama's down by 20 right now and it's not an extremely competitive game, but it's nice to see that they're at least making some shots, getting something going for them.
And they're gonna call a charge. Offensive foul there as Nunez tried to get to the basket.
It would be so important for Panama to get maybe 4 or 5 more points in a row, start a big run, cut this lead to around 15-14, maybe at halftime, and then you can go into half and you can tell your team that even though you're down by 50 points, you played hard and you're still in it.
Definitely tons of time for Panama to get back into the contest. It's Aguilar. Up top, Lopez, he's hot. He'll pull up again, can't hit it this time. Rebound up for grabs, Gunn underneath. Frank there, and that one blocked by Harasme. Rubel finds Jones, pulls up for a 3 of his own, can't hit it. Nunez fighting for it, Frank there as well. Gunn for Team Panama, who's it off? Looks like it is off. Gunn and the Dominican Republic will keep the basketball.
And you can see that David Jones and Lopez, they're both trying to get their shots as quickly as possible. You can see they both have the hot hand. They're trying to see if they can keep it going.
David Jones with 7 points. Perfect from the field. It's Frank. He hits it right in front of the Team Panama bench.
And the Dominican, they're starting to hit their threes.
Andrade, Gunn. He was double teamed. Looks like it was off Harasme and out of bounds. 2:23 left to go here in the second quarter. 42-19, the Dominican Republic lead Team Panama as Lopez, nice save, but threw it into a sea of white uniforms. Back the other way, drawing contact.
Foul.
Frink heading to the line.
And on that play we saw that Lopez made a nice save, but for his team it ended up working against him as the Dominican had numbers, and now Frink's gonna get 2 shots at the free throw line.
Frink at the line a day ago is 3 for 5, 60%. Misses the second one, loose ball. Team Panama will get it. Sanger, Lopez, and they'll call a travel on Lopez. He tried to find Lombardo, but that closed quickly. Rubel over center. Jones thought about pulling up from beyond the arc, didn't. Hands off to Frink, who slams it down.
The Dominican Republic making a statement right down. That was Alonzo Frink with his 8th point of the game.
From 3, Aguilar hits it. Rubel back the other way. Things starting to pick up a little bit. Here's Frink. Can't hit that 3-pointer. And again, the Dominican Republic will head to the line. Looks like this time it's going to be Harasme.
Harasme, who came in for Corella, who got hurt, he went 1 for 2 from the line the last time he went there.
Dominican Republic number 3, Matthew Harasme, shooting 2.
5 points so far in this one for Harasme. As we mentioned yesterday, he had no points on the board for the Dominican Republic. As we take another look at Alonzo Frink. Oh, he's a beast.
He is, and you can tell that he is the strongest guy on the court, and he wants to show it, and on that play he did.
Harasme gets the second one to drop. Sanger. Aguilar. Lost the handle, got it back. Finds Gunn for 3. Off the mark, rebound picked up by Rubel. Soriano. Harasme stepping out of bounds, and it'll go the other way. And Team Dominican Republic calls a timeout here with 1:05 left to go here in the first half.
And when you have a minute left in this game, it's a 25-point lead for the Dominican Republic. There's not really much that can change in a minute. I think we're all going to be going into halftime to realize that the Dominican have a huge lead, and they've been playing the way that they should have been playing. For Panama, make another couple baskets, do something good that can maybe get your team going for the second half. But if you're the Dominican Republic, you have to be really happy.
Sharing the ball very well. 7 for Frink, 7 for Harasme. David Jones has 9 off the bench.
And we talked about him at the top of this game. He's been great for them all tournament long. Even in those 2 losses, it feels like he's been the consistent one on their team. We've seen Alonzo Frink get cold at times. We saw Quinones get cold in the first game. But for David Jones, consistently getting better every single game. And the most important thing for me with him is he's efficient. Right now, shooting 4 for 6 from the field.
Something also that stands out, the assist totals. Rubel 3, Jones has 1, 4 for Harasme, and Frink has 1 of his own.
And these are just the guys on the court right now. I feel like Dominican has just been moving the ball really well. In a game like this where you know that the expectation is that you're going to win big, especially after what happened last night. Sometimes the worry is, are you going in a little too overconfident? Are you going to get complacent? Are you going to be stagnant? Are you going to take unnecessary shots because you know that the game's in hand? For the Dominican Republic, that's not what's happened. They've been playing really well, great team-oriented basketball, getting everybody involved, and that's really important going into the elimination rounds starting Thursday. As
you saw Team Panama there drawing up something, trying to get back into this game. Their leader is Edward Lopez. He's got 9. All of them are from beyond the arc.
One guy to look out for is Jesus Lombardo. I thought he had a couple good plays in the first quarter, posting up, going up against Soriano. He's not even in the game right now, so maybe that's a guy that they can look for in these next couple possessions before this half ends.
1:05 left in the first half as Gunn received it off the inbound. It's Sanger now carrying it up over center. Lombardo helping him out. Aguilar finds Gunn, nice pass, just couldn't get a shot off. Ball goes out of bounds off of Dominican. Team Panama will keep the ball with 1 second left on the shot clock.
And on that possession, you could see Lombardo in position to post up a couple of times, and they decided to go for the swing pass down to Gunn on the baseline. I think that might not have been the right call.
The official comes over to the scorer's table. They're going to put 1 more second back on that shot clock. Smart play, give it to Lopez, who's been great, but it's a shot clock violation.
Shot clock violation.
With 38.2 to go. Rubel with Sanger all over him. Erasme. Soriano. No good from the jumper, and Lombardo just hands it off to Gunn. Gunn able to get around David Jones into Lombardo off the glass. No good. Soriano was on him. Back the other way. Erasme's pass picked off momentarily. He got it back. Finds Soriano. Spins a couple of times. Now it's Erasme. Fadeaway jumper is able to hit it. There's the buzzer. We're at the end of 2 quarters. It's 49-22 in favor of the Dominican Republic.
And we saw what Panama did yesterday. They didn't play really well, but in the first game, they were leading against Puerto Rico, and I think the biggest reason for that was Puerto Rico started slow. That is not the case for the Dominican Republic right now. They have played extremely efficient. They played well. And I think everybody's been getting involved, and that's good news for them.
Guys like Quinones, Frank, as we take a look at the halftime stats, the Dominican Republic shooting 68%, Panama only 24%.
4 for 17 from the field is not what you want to be seeing when you go into half. They need to play better. I know that they're young and they're inexperienced. We shouldn't expect them to be setting the world on fire, but they should be playing better, especially looking at that assist total, 13-3. They should move the ball around a lot more, especially when you know that your team may need some more help. You're going to need a lot of help from multiple players. Get everyone involved. It'll get everyone going, and maybe it'll give your team some momentum.
You saw turnovers there as well. That's not really playing a factor. Both teams have 11.
And that's lucky for the Dominican Republic that those 11 turnovers really didn't turn into much points. As you see, David Jones leading the way for the Dominican Republic at 9, Lopez with 9. All of those were 3. He was the only guy that really on Panama in that second quarter that caught fire and started to make some shots. It's just, you need more than making shots if you're Panama. You need to play good defense. You need to hustle, have a lot of energy, and right now that's not what they're playing with.
Jones, Lopez, both the leaders through 20 minutes of play. We'll take a break, come back for the second half right here at the Meridian Center.
That's how to mop the floor quickly.
This crowd is going to be loud here. They really get behind the team.
World Cup qualifiers were meant to bring basketball home to the home nations.
Vargas drives in and scores. The party's on. Now Brasino flies in. Go Halley, Carter on the putback. 4-1, back to Grass. Roll, who goes in for the dunk. Scola, wow. So in, and Samus Reyes flies in for the dunk. What a play that is!
Right, that's what it means.
Great win for the Uruguayans.
Welcome back to the Meridian Center in St. Catharines. We open up with a highlight pack from the Dominican Republic. They lead 49-22, and because of plays like these.
And they're really moving the ball around. They're getting everybody involved, and that's so important in a game like this or in a tournament like this where we've mentioned there's so much depth around with the USA, Canada, Argentina, Puerto Rico. This team knows that. The Dominican know they have to get a ton of players involved, and they have a ton of talent. Guys like Alonzo Frank, Lester Quinones, these guys are great starters, but a guy coming off the bench, David Jones, number 8, he's been consistent, he's been great all tournament long for them, even in their 2 losses.
He's shooting 50% from beyond the arc, 75% from the field, 66% in total. Man, he's been a beast.
And the way, and like you said, shooting for the 3, getting inside the paint, he's attacking from so many ways, and he's a guy that we've seen get more minutes every single game, and he's put up more points. He's been efficient, smart with the basketball, getting a couple steals and leading to a dunk like that can energize your entire team. I know that right now we're talking about a 27-point lead against Panama is really David Jones coming off the bench going to help them win. But when we're talking about the later tournaments, later games in the tournament, a guy like him could really catapult the Dominican to maybe be a lot more competitive and win some games against those tougher teams.
We'll switch sides to Team Panama. A couple standout guys for them. Edward Lopez, he had 9 back-to-back 3-pointers.
And that's the way you can get back into a game. It was just a little too late in that half for Panama to really make a run. It just became almost too much of a lead that they could really handle. But for Edward Lopez to make those shots, get something going for that team. After yesterday, you know there was some disappointment on that Panama team. And for them to come in and get someone hot, get it going. One guy that didn't play yesterday that we mentioned, Jonathan Andrade, he's got 0 points right now off 18 minutes. He needs to be a little bit better, especially scoring the ball, getting some better shots for his teammates. And another guy, Jesus Lombardo, we mentioned him a couple of times. He's 2 for 5 from the field, 4 points, but he's played every single minute in that first half. If he's going to play the entire game or most of the entire game, you expect a lot more from him, and maybe just give him the ball more, give him more opportunities.
He's the one big guy on Panama that they can look for down in the paint and get those points in the paint. But they're going to have to do it quickly. They trail 49-22. We're going to take a quick break, come back with the start of the 3rd quarter. We're back at the Meridian Center here in St. Catharines, Ontario, getting set for the second half here. Game 2, day 3 at the 2018 FIBA U18 Americas Championship. 49-22, the Dominican Republic leads Panama.
And let's see if Panama can get the ball rolling quickly, get a couple of shots early. Maybe they can make a little run in this 3rd quarter.
We see Jesus Lombardo on the court. Doesn't have much size advantage against number 33 in white, Soriano. But we talk about points in the paint. 24 for the Dominican Republic. Panama's only got 8.
And you mentioned Lombardo, he doesn't have a lot of size, but he's the only one with size. So maybe get an opportunity for him to take some shots as Andrade is going to go to the free throw line.
Chance for his first 2 points of the game.
and it's going to be really important for him to get it going as well. We mentioned he had 0 points in that first half, and it could be maybe a testament to some rust. He didn't play in that second game.
He played 18:54 in the first half as he misses the first one and slams the ball down in frustration. His head coach, David Rosario, telling him calm down. Still got a half a basketball to play as he hits the second one, 1 for 2 at that trip to the line. Harasme, Lopez is on him. Finds Rubel right in front of us. Andrade is on him. Quinones back in the game to start the second half. He got a nice feed from Frank, just couldn't finish. A lot of red jerseys in below that basket there. Quinones just unable to get the shot off. And it's Panama looking to cut into the lead a little bit more. As that pass in down low. Cleaning up the garbage there is Lombardo.
And we've seen 2 possessions by Panama. One getting to the free throw line, the other one getting some ball movement, moving it around, and then it was Jesus Lombardo to clean it up and get some points.
Soriano posting up, floats it up. Good for 2 points.
Soriano started hot in that game but got cold in the second quarter, really didn't do much, but now he's going to be up to 9 points.
Gun to inbound. 51-25. Dominican Republic leads it. It's Gun. Andrade pulls up from 3, can't hit it. Just didn't look like a clean shot on that one from Andrade. The arc wasn't there, and just he looked uncomfortable taking it.
But it was a nice look. It was wide open. It seemed like that would be a shot he could hit, but you're right. It just didn't seem like it came out right.
Harasme off the mark on that 3-ball attempt. Lopez has been pretty good from beyond the arc. He pulls up at about the free throw line and is able to hit that one.
And that was a much-needed basket for Lopez to keep Panama going. They made a couple shots, but you don't want to start getting cold.
Points 10 and 11 for Lopez on the afternoon. Harasme. Soriano. Lombardo's on him. He finds Frank, who drives, puts it up off the glass, and 1.
The one thing I'm looking right now at the Dominican Republic, how efficient they're shooting the ball. Alonzo Frank now 4 for 6 with 11 points. His starting lineup around him, Harasme's got 9, shooting 3 for 5. Quinones only has 5 points, but he's only shot the ball 5 times. And then Rubel and Soriano, they've been efficient as well.
Frank was at Roselle Catholic High School in Roselle, New Jersey this past year. As you take another look at that, nice play from big number 1. Lopez had a bit of space. Quinones closed on him quickly. Andrade making a couple of moves around Rubel, then big Soriano gets in his way. Gun pulls up from 3, can't hit it. Rebound, Lombardo's there, puts it back off the glass, can't get it to go. Soriano with the rebound. Harasme makes sure he's behind the arc and makes no mistake in the corner. 30-point advantage for the Dominican Republic as a turnover just beyond center court. Rubel back to Soriano, who's fouled. Quinones looks like he wanted the ball on that rush.
Well, there was a selfless play, though, there by Rubel and Quinones, because Quinones got it to Rubel. It looked like he wanted it back, but that was the right call. Soriano was coming in with a full head of steam. They didn't see it coming, and that's why he's at the line.
And with a man standing at 6'11", the height advantage, definitely think it would have worked out. But he gets free shots anyways and makes the first one. Can't hit the second one. 1 for 2 on that trip to the line.
Relive. Substitution for Dominican Republic, number 22, Stephen for Clinton. Over the course of our history, many milestones, each one attributes our proprietary, uncompromised pursuit to excellence in winemaking, regional tourism, and community involvement. For more than 135 years, Lancaster Brooks & Welch LLP has been Niagara's
Here in the third quarter.
Clients have relied on us for help solving a broad range of legal issues. LBW remains a leader in the Niagara region, providing sound and reliable legal advice to residents and businesses that come to depend.
See the top scorers there for Team Panama. Just like to apologize there. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties with the mics. 5:29 left to play here in the third quarter. 66-27 in favor of the Dominican Republic. They lead Team Panama here in game number 2 on day 3 of the 2018 FIBA U18 Americas Championship. Along with Joe D'Agostino, I'm Reese Demani. Thanks a lot for tuning in here this afternoon. We take a look at the top scores for the Dominican Republic. Harasme leads the way.
Nice wide open look for the Dominican. That's really been the story all game. They've been getting the looks that they want, and when you're facing a team like Panama that you know doesn't have the talent level that you have to take advantage of those shots, and that's exactly what the Dominican Republic are doing.
That was Verplanken on that look as he's sort of directing traffic off this timeout. Coming onto the court as well for the Dominican Republic is Bonilla. He's number 15 in white. Andrade and Gunn, they play a little bit of pitch and catch. Gunn looking for someone open, finds Lombardo. Right back to Gunn and to Andrade once again. Verplanken's on him. Lombardo jumper, able to hit it over Soriano.
Lombardo's got 6 points now, or 8 points now in the game. He's been impressive for the Dominican, or for Panama.
Verplanken, Bonilla. Had Frink for a second. Frink sort of put his arms in the air like, hey, I was open a little bit. Bonilla pleading his case. It'll go the other way at Team Panama as the ball made its way out of bounds.
And if you're a Dominican fan right now, you have to be happy that they bounced back in this game so far. They're playing the way that you want them to play, especially going into the elimination game starting Thursday.
Last time they were in this tournament, they went winless.
Which is a surprise, especially when we look back at a team like the Virgin Islands, which doesn't have a ton of experience in the 2016 tournament. For the Dominican not to win a single game, that was really disappointing for them. But it looks like they're well on their way to win their first one, and possibly more if they keep playing the way they are.
And it was huge for them to bounce back, especially in the 2017 U17 championships, as they won the whole thing against Team Puerto Rico. As it was Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, and Team Panama coming out of that tournament, qualifying for this one, and they're all in one division in Group A, along with Team USA.
And speaking of this division or this group, this game is going to determine who's the third seed. They're essentially locked in at that, and then the later game at 6 o'clock will be for the first seed.
That'll be USA against Puerto Rico. Should be a good one. As you mentioned, it's later tonight. That one gets underway just after 6 o'clock. As we've got 4:15 left here in this third quarter, it's 66-29 in favor of the Dominican Republic. There's a couple substitutions, one for each team. It'll be Aguilar coming in the game for Team Panama, Pascual coming in for Team Dominican Republic, replacing Frink. Also a late one, Torres will make his way onto the court. Soriano will come off, so big men, both big men for Team Dominican Republic will have a seat and a rest to try and get refueled.
And even to that point, even though they're, and I'm air quoting, big men for the Dominican are sitting down, they still have so much size on the court they can contest with Panama.
Couple opportunities there for Team Panama. Doesn't go anywhere. Lombardo, the big man for Team Panama, can't get it to go, but he'll head to the line as he draws contact underneath.
And it's smart because even though Lombardo's undersized when we talk about the Dominicans' big men, it's a little more even when they start to make their rotation. So it was smart to post up, take advantage of your size, and now he's getting 2 opportunities at the line.
Lombardo's got 6 points so far on the afternoon. He only had 4 in the game yesterday, as the first one has nothing doing on that attempt. Both of them off the mark. Verplanken tried to get it to Pascual. He's able to pick up that loose ball. Verplanken back with it again. Now along the sideline, Bonilla missed that 3-point attempt. He was hot from beyond the arc in that first half. Gunn will pull up deep 3, just a little bit long, but a good job on the rebound there by Aguilar. 8 on the shot clock. It's Andrade. Gunn driving, reverse lane, can't get it to go. Ball out of bounds. And it'll go the way of Team Panama. .320 left to go here in this third frame. It's Gunn. Andrade back to Gunn. He'll pull up from beyond the arc and is able to hit that one.
And John Gunn, he is 1 for 8 from the field before that shot, so he must be feeling good knowing that something finally went in for him in this second half.
He's now got 7. Verplanken. He drives, lost the handle. Back the other way comes Team Panama. Ball up for grabs just past center court. And going up. Can't get it to go, but he's going to draw contact underneath.
And when you're up by 34 points and I see a guy dive for the ball like that, that shows how badly this team wants to make a run in this tournament. Every single minute matters, and you want to impress. This is your country. You don't know who's watching. You want to show the world how good you are, and in a situation like that, you are.
Julio Pascual misses the first opportunity. Able to hit the second one. And a substitution for Team Panama. Coming into the game will be Garibaldi. It's Gunn. Driving Aguilar, can't get it to go, loose ball. And on the far side, Verplanken, lead pass picked off by Andrade. The pace picking up a little bit. It's Gunn. Garibaldi lost it for a second, tried to pass, got it back, and gets the floater to go as it went off the hands of Bonilla, right back to him. Torres, nice pass to Pasquale, who drives. And he's gonna head right back to the free throw line.
Right now for the Dominican, I think something that's important that you have to start considering is Quinones, your best player. When is it time for him to maybe sit on the bench? I know that obviously you want to keep your guys, you don't want them to be rusty. You want to make sure they get enough minutes so they feel like they're still in rhythm going into Thursday, especially with the day off, which they won't be used to, especially playing 3 days in a row. But in a situation like this, we saw Corella take a bad fall earlier in this game, and the last thing you need is to be up by this many points and one of your best players takes a bad injury.
It was not a very long vacation for Pasquale at the free throw line. He goes 1 of 2 once again. Dominican able to gather the ball as he goes back up. He's gonna head right back there. So Pasquale definitely getting his work in at the free throw line here in the third quarter.
And what was so impressive about that is the fact that he missed the free throw, and how many offensive rebounds did they get on that play? Taking a nice hard shot and another opportunity to get some points at the line.
First one is good. And again, 1 for 2, 3 straight trips to the line. He goes 50%. Gets that rebound up top. Now it's Verplanken. Quinones comes up short. Gunn with the rebound. Gunn lost the handle. Able to find his man in the corner. He's got a 3 ball of his own, number 6, Randall Aguilar.
And that's his second 3 of the game for Panama.
And it looks like we have an offensive foul in underneath.
Offensive foul.
Looks like Quinones is gonna get it. Each team is in the bonus now. Five fouls apiece. Minute 20 to go in the third quarter. Aguilar looking for something to open up. He has Andrade. Right back to Aguilar, nice play. Tried to go off the glass, couldn't get it to go. And it's Verplanken back the other way. Makes a couple of moves, able to get it off the glass. No good follow-up opportunity there from Torres. A little bit frustrated underneath, he couldn't get it to go. Aguilar pulls up jumper, good. 69-39, Dominican Republic leads Panama.
We'll see how the Dominican and Panama finish this quarter off. I think maybe one possession each before we go to the fourth quarter. I do like what we've seen from Panama in this quarter. It seems like they've been the most aggressive as another basket for the Dominican. Well, for the Dominican, nothing really has changed.
That was Torres. David Jones was ready to come back onto the court. Looks like he's gonna head back to the benches. Not much time left here in this quarter as Gunn put one up from beyond the arc, couldn't get to go. Torres with the rebound underneath. 10 seconds to go. Verplanken sees a lane, decides to go out to Quinones, who pulls up from 3 short. Loose ball picked up by Barbua, but it's off his hands and out of bounds. .4 to go.
Got to get creative here. Look for a tip in.
Verplanken to inbound. Quinones gets it off, but that's an air ball to end the third quarter. 71-39 in favor of the Dominican Republic.
A little more tightly knit quarter for them, 22-17 in favor for the Dominican. So Panama, they played a lot better. It's just, this is a huge lead and we're not really expecting it to change.
We continue with the leaders for both teams. Dominican Republic, Bonilla Jr.'s got 8, Quinones 7, and 5 for Verplanken, so definitely spreading the ball around. We'll take a break, come back for the final quarter here on game 2 of day 3.
Now that's how to mop the floor quickly.
Welcome back inside the Meridian Center here in downtown St. Catharines. Game 2, day 3 of the 2018 FIBA U18 Americas Championship as we take a look at the stats through 3 quarters. 60% shooting, the Dominican Republic, 27 for Panama.
And I was gonna say the Dominican, they're shooting at a nice level, except for Panama, it's just really low. So it's almost 2 sides, one team playing very well, the other team very poorly, and that's the score that you're gonna get.
We see turnovers, 14 aside, so can't really blame it on that through 3 quarters.
And realistically, looking at this game, the Dominican Republic have so many great players that can get involved. They have Alonzo Frink, one of their stars, he's got 15. Joel Soriano, who we mentioned could be a difference maker with his height, he's got 14. And a guy we didn't really mention a lot of, who was scoreless yesterday, Matthew Harasme, one of the starters. He plays a lot of minutes, and he's got 18. So collectively, a great game by the Dominican Republic.
Harasme played just over 17.5 minutes so far in this contest as we take another look at the numbers here on the sheet. Points off turnovers, 16 for the Dominican Republic, 4 for Panama. But something that really stands out to me, and Joe, I know you could probably speak to this, is the bench points, 27-12.
And I think what's so important about that is we saw it in Ecuador, I've said this a couple of times. They lost to Argentina today, but they were competitive in the first half. But when you have a team that just doesn't have enough players that can distribute the ball and contribute and score, it's going to become an issue because they're going to be playing really long minutes, they're going to get tired, and that's what's happening in Panama. Their best players are going to be playing too long, and then when it comes down to the 4th quarter, the Dominican that can put in some fresh legs, and they can score.
Torres, rebound there, can't get it to go. Another opportunity by Nunez. Unable to get anything going there. Now in the corner, David Jones lost the handle. Ball up for grabs, it's Aguilar to gun to Andrade.
And on a situation like that where you saw the Dominican have multiple opportunities to score, the reason they're getting those chances is obviously the height, but also they just have a lot more energy. They're gonna have a lot more to go up and get those offensive rebounds as opposed to Panama.
Played just over 30 seconds here in this 4th quarter, 71-39 in favor of the Dominican Republic as they lead Team Panama looking for their first victory of the FIBA tournament. As the first one from Garibaldi is good at the line.
And I think we can say that this is the Dominican Republic team that we expected to see in this tournament. I know it's against Panama, but they did play well against Puerto Rico, and it was just against the USA. They, at times, especially early on, they were competitive with them. It's just they need to complete it for one full game, especially against those tougher teams.
Corner, David Jones. He's your man, Joe.
David Jones, I can say efficiency is the key to winning any game, and that's what he is. He's 4 for 6 from the field now. He's got 10 points.
And one thing of note, back on the court is number 4, Carlos Correa. That's good to see.
Yeah, he took a hard fall with John Gunn on the right side of the court early on in the 2nd quarter, so you're right. It is good to see that he's back in the game.
Bonilla can't hit that shot. Andrade going up against his number 4 counterpart. It's Gunn. And it looks like a reach-in foul there by Jones.
I think one thing I'm noticing by Panama a little bit on the offensive side, I know that they want to get the best shot possible, but on that play right there, John Gunn, he had enough space, and he knows, he's confident. He's shot the 3 tons of times in this game. It hasn't gone in every time, but the fact that he's shooting it, it tells us that he knows he can make it. On that play right there, instead of driving, he could have just taken that shot.
Gunn tried to go reverse off the glass, couldn't get it to go. Now it's Carrera back the other way for the Dominican, who has 2 fouls already in this quarter. Nunez in down low to Torres, reverse off the glass. And that one is good for 2 points.
Torres, who hasn't gotten a ton of minutes in this game, good to see him get involved.
Garibaldi lost the handle on that one, then it came back to him. Gunn underneath, lays that one up and in. Stolen by Andrade. Far side for 3, coming up short there. That was Aguilar. Nunez, pass into Bonilla, nice play there, as 20 connects to number 15.
Bonilla, who's played 14 minutes in this game, he's got his 10th point. Ton of players in double figures now for the Dominican.
Ball out of play, and it will go the way of the Dominicans.
Substitution for Team Panama, number 15, Oscar Zephyrin, and number 10, Edward Lopez.
Oscar Zephyrin will check back into the game for Team Panama, as well as Edward Lopez, who has had a pretty decent game from beyond the arc, as he hit 3 in a row in that second quarter. He scored 9 of the 12 points for Team Panama in that quarter. As fighting for that loose ball underneath was Torres, but just couldn't get a shot off, as he was surrounded by a sea of red. And it's Panama on the attack back the other way. Aguilar, jumper, and a foul as Nunez got a hand in on him.
I like how Panama's still being aggressive. This game is clearly out of hand, but they haven't given up. They've shown some heart, especially from some of these guys who've been playing almost this entire game. I think Andrade's coming out of the game almost for the first or second time. And the fact that they're still pushing and playing hard, that's a good sign for them.
Andrade played 28 minutes, 54 seconds through 3 quarters. As Duke comes on to replace him. And Aguilar has a nice trip to the line.
And you mentioned that Andrade played 28 minutes. You also have to bring up the fact he's 5'6". And for a guy who's 5'6" to play 28 minutes against some of these players who are 6'9", 6'10", constantly playing at a full speed, like, that's tough to do.
Nunez says, get out of here, as he bats it out of play.
Let's take a look at this one more time. Trying to make something happen is Gunn. It seems like he's been the one who's trying to get something going for Panama, but not that time.
Nunez, 6'7" forward. Going up off the side of the basket was Aguilar. He couldn't get it to go. Now David Jones finds Nunez, who decides to drive, can't get it to go. Jones on the rebound out of nowhere and then puts it up off the glass.
David Jones, a good presence in the paint there to get the offensive rebound. Easy basket for the Dominican. They're at 78 points now to, or sorry, 80 points.
Gunn. Deep 3, just a little bit long as it pops right back out to David Jones. Lost the handle, up for grabs. Who's got it? David Jones does. Puts it up and over the basket, but he'll head to the line and shoot 2.
And I'll try to give some credit to John Gunn for playing a ton of minutes, and it's clearly showing that he wants this game as bad as possible, and even down by this many points, he's still trying. But at some point, 3 for 15 from the field, I think it's time to maybe look at other people to try to get their shot going.
He's got 7 in the contest here this afternoon, played just under 27 minutes in this one. As you see him, he'll check out. Rue coming on for him.
I think it's the right move. Try to get some other people involved now. As for the Dominican, David Jones, he's been really good for them these past couple of minutes. He got that basket on the other possession, and now he's going to the free throw line.
Jones' first free throw attempt comes up short. With 6 minutes and change left to go here in this second game here at the 2018 FIBA U18 Americas Championship. Coming up next, it'll be Puerto Rico against the United States to conclude the preliminary round in Group A. And then, of course, the later game, it'll be Chile against Canada to wrap everything up before a day off tomorrow. And the medal rounds begin on Thursday as Lopez, a nice play there, his second opportunity. 5.5 to go here in this one. Corella. Bonilla driving, floater, good. We've seen a couple times where the Dominicans have got into that paint and just put one up the floater, see if it'll go in, and it has dropped for them. Lopez thought about the three, didn't take it. It's Rue, pull-up jumper is good. Up the court, Corella, good to see him moving around. We mentioned he took the hard hit with John Gunn underneath the basket in the second quarter. He was holding his leg quite a bit, needed help off the court, but he seems to be moving pretty well. As it's Duke back the other way, picked up his dribble, and Lopez able to get open for him. Now it's Rue in the corner, has a little bit of space, decides to get it to Zephyrin. Lopez, Duke, great ball movement from Team Panama. Just unable to get it on that three-point attempt. Lopez with the rebound, Duke again. Zephyrin pulls up and hits the jumper. Good to see Panama making their shots here late in this one.
I was gonna say a couple baskets in a row for Panama there, one by Rue. I think that right now for Panama, that's just the game plan here. Finish strong. You know you're gonna have tough competition on Thursday, so the best thing you can do is at least go in there with some confidence.
Substitution for Team Dominican Republic. It'll be Rubel coming on for Corella.
He misses the first free throw. Now, Reese, we see the Dominican, they played really well today. They lost to the USA and Puerto Rico, but I think against Puerto Rico, it was a lot closer than the score really tells us. What do you think their ceiling is in this tournament right now?
You know, there's a lot of things that you can like from the Dominican Republic. I can't pick one. I really like this team. Them and Puerto Rico have sort of been the two teams that I'm kind of like, hey, these guys are interesting because I just like size. And
that's what
they have size.
They have a ton of size. And I think when you're facing a team like the U.S., we saw the Dominican really give it to them in that first half. And against Puerto Rico, we'll see that later tonight against them when they face the U.S. But I think that they have a chance to maybe, like, at the end of the day, you just have to win your qualifier to get to the World Cup. And I think the Dominican, they could beat Puerto Rico, they could beat Argentina, they could beat Chile. I think they have an opportunity to do that. It's just, even against the tougher teams like the U.S. or Canada, we'll see how far they can actually go.
Smart play from Lopez to throw it off Franken out of bounds. Absolutely, it's a tournament. These guys, 16, 17, 18 years old. On one given day, if you're not playing your best, you may lose and be out.
And we've seen teams in this tournament who we know that are good, like Argentina or Puerto Rico. They've had some off halves or off quarters where you can tell that the potential is there, but they just aren't really executing properly. So for the Dominican, if they can catch one of those teams when they're not playing at their best and they're executing at the highest level, I think they have every chance. We're talking about players like Alonzo Frank and David Jones, Quinones. These are great players that can give you a lot in a lot of ways. So I think the Dominican, they should be happy going into the tournament. They're going to get a win against Panama, and whoever they face, that team, they're going to have to play hard if they want to beat the Dominican Republic.
And that's the one thing we said about the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico in their matchup yesterday. That's an all-Caribbean matchup. They know each other. The Dominican has proved they can beat Puerto Rico because in that U17 Central Basket Championships, it was Dominican. They were the champions of that tournament. Puerto Rico finished second, but it also shows Puerto Rico has experience on the big stage because they've won 4 of the last 6 U17 Central Basket Championships.
But that familiarity that you just mentioned with them playing with these similar teams like Panama or Puerto Rico, it's going to be gone in the qualifiers because they will be facing the 2 seed in Group B.
We continue to count down here on game 2 of day 3 of this FIBA Americas Championship. It's the Dominican Republic up on Team Panama, 85-51. Team Panama still continuing to fight and move the ball around as Lopez's 3-point attempt comes up a little bit short. Argentina took care of business this morning against Ecuador. Dominican Republic doing that against Team Puerto Rico here, as you see Torres float one up and in. It's Puerto Rico against the United States next. That game around 6 o'clock. And then finishing out the group stage, it will be Canada going up against Team Chile. We've seen a lot of Chile fans here, but obviously with the tournament being in Canada, that's going to be a great atmosphere tonight. It
should be. I think that we've always seen a lot of good games. A lot of fans have come in, especially today and yesterday in the early games. So the team should be excited, and then I think it's going to pick up even more heading into the elimination games.
The elimination games begin on Thursday with a day off tomorrow, as a three-point attempt there from Rubel is an air ball. Verplanken will come in for him. And on the other side for Team Panama, it'll be Sanger checking into the game for Lopez.
How do you feel about the performance by Panama today? Obviously, after what happened yesterday, that was something I've never seen before. So I know that they're losing big right now, but I do think they showed a lot today, and I showed that they could have came in here with their heads hanging down low and not really giving much, but I really like the effort they've given.
This is the most they've scored in a game so far in this tournament. They had 51 up against Panama. But yeah, no, we mentioned it a couple times. They're diving for balls. They're still moving the ball around, still moving their feet, getting open, getting good looks. It's just sort of finishing that they have to work on.
And especially when you know that you're going to be the underdog, the best thing you can do is at least give as much as you can. A ton of energy, work hard, and that's the best you can really ask for in this situation.
And I think that's what head coach David Rosario likes. He likes the hard work his young men are putting in. As it's Jones the other way, and they're not going to count the basket. They're going to call travel on David Jones. Just sort of shaking that one off a little bit as we have 56 seconds left to play here in this one. 87-54, the Dominican leads it. Duke puts it up. Well short.
Looks
Still
like someone got a hand on it.
You saw him chase his own ball. Back the other side. Bonilla hits it from downtown. Team Panama will finish as the 4th seed in Group A. They will face the 1st seed in Group B. The Dominican will finish 1 and 2 in the group round, and we'll wait to see what happens with Team Puerto Rico against Team USA as Rue finds a lane. But Pascual gets in the way of that and says, no, we're not going to give it to you that easy, even with 15 seconds left.
And you wouldn't really expect much different, especially with teams that know each other so much. Nothing's going to be given easy, especially with only 15 seconds left on the clock.
3 seconds left on the shot clock for Team Panama. Rue right back to Duke. Don't let the time run out. With 11 seconds left to play, this will be the last possession of the game. (90-54). Team Dominican Republic getting the job done here against Team Panama. It's now a final. They win it by 36 points. Dominican finishes 1 and 2. Panama 0 and 3. They'll get reset and retooled for the medal round starting on Thursday.
And if you're the Dominican Republic, this is exactly the game that you needed. You lose your first 2, but you take care of business in Game 3. You're going to be the 3rd seed, so it's going to be a tough matchup on Thursday, but they have every opportunity to win. We saw the talent that they have.
The games may have not seemed close at the final buzzer for the Dominican Republic, but in this one, they're on top. The other games, Puerto Rico and against the United States, they were in every game in this tournament. And on the other side for Team Panama, you just got to credit the effort to them.
But you can see the Dominican Republic, 50 rebounds compared to 37, 20 assists to 10. I think those two statistics really tell you that the Dominican, they move the ball a lot, and also the height, the rebounds. That's what you're going to have to take into consideration. Panama just not a tall team. The Dominican is.
The Dominican with only 2 guys under 6 feet tall. As you see the final numbers, Bonilla Jr. led the Dominican in points, 15. Lopez for Panama, he had 13, but he had a good game from beyond the arc.
And you mentioned Bonilla, who had 15 points as the team leader. There were a ton of guys who got involved as well. That leading scorer could have been anybody. It just ended up being Bonilla. David Jones, 12. Frank, 12. Harasme, 12. I can go on and on.
Soriano, 10. Quinones, 10. All-around team effort from the Dominican Republic. As you see David Jones, you really like him.
Well, he's been efficient all tournament long, and for a team that's 1-2, you would think that maybe they have a lot of issues. He is not one of those issues. He's one of the best players on that team, and he doesn't even play a lot of minutes, so it means, to me, I think he should be getting more.
It's a final. Dominican Republic takes care of business against Team Panama. We'll take a break, come right back with an interview.
Now that's how to mop the floor quickly.
Niagara College's Spring Open House at our Welland and Niagara-on-the-Lake campuses, March 24th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Experience all that Niagara College has to offer. Visit niagaracollege.ca/open house for more details.
Welcome back to the Meridian Center in St. Catharines, Ontario. Game 2 is in the books here on day 3. It's a 90-54 final in favor of the Dominican Republic. We're going to send things over to Anthony Gallo. He's got Matthew Harasme standing by.
Matthew, congratulations on the win. Tonight, over 60% shooting for yourself. What did you see out there allow you to get such easy looks?
I just try to get out in transition, try to get offensive rebounds, try to get myself going. My teammates found me sometimes on the wing, open, and I just had a good groove tonight, and hopefully I could keep it going in the next game.
And the past couple games, a couple tough losses, what adjustments did your team and your coach make allow you to get this victory tonight?
We spoke a lot yesterday together, like in a room, just about that we have to play together, we have to play defense, we have to rebound, and I think we did a good job of that today, and that showed.
Right, and heading forward, tougher competition coming. What can we expect from you guys, and what's the game plan going in to Thursday?
You know, we needed this game as a confidence booster for everybody. We got a lot of people in. So I think we're gelling right now at the right time, and whoever we play, it doesn't matter. We're going to go out there and we're going to fight.
And just to get you out of here on this, what does it mean to you to have that name across your chest here and play for Dominica?
It means so much to me. You know, a lot of my family's back in Dominican Republic cheering for me, cheering for this whole team. So I'm very honored to be a part of this team.
Congratulations. Good luck the rest of the tournament.
His family has a lot to cheer about for that young man. Matthew Harasme, after scoring no points a day ago, he comes back with 12 and helps his team to a 90-54 victory against Panama, finishing 1-2 in the group stage. What an exciting game that was. Team Panama showed their heart. They had fun. Lopez, standout guy for them. You see Frank there. What else can you say about these two clubs?
You can't expect more from a team than the way they played today. The Dominican Republic, this was their best effort so far in this tournament, and they should be proud by the way they performed.
The United States against Puerto Rico will finish off Group A play. That game gets underway just after 6 o'clock. For this one, 90-54, Dominican beats Panama. For Joe D'Agostino and all of our crew, I'm Reese Dumaney. We'll see you back here just after 6 o'clock.